Hello, 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 you guys. We are so thrilled you're here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And online people, we see you. So we want to say welcome to everybody that's joining us online. You are in for a treat. We are here to give you the seller perspective on creating fabulous listings that are going to get seen and they are going to get sold, right? Because that's what we're after. So I'm Kathy Terrill.
I'm Brad.
And so I'm a top-rated seller on eBay. I've been on eBay since 2002. I also have the joy of being an award-winning seller, and I work with the eBay government relations team. I'm a small business captain. I'm actually captain the Northeast when we have things that need to be dealt with. Also work with the eBay Ads Advisory Board. As a lot of you know, I also run seller communities, so thank you for those of you that are in my groups. And it is my joy to sell on eBay and to encourage other sellers. And if you want to follow me on social media, and please do, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, I have a podcast. Pretty much everywhere it's Kathy Terrill, and that's T-E-R-R-I-L-L. Love to be selling, or I love to be selling. So welcome everybody. And Brad.
Hello, she is amazing, amazing. So if you're not following her, you better, because as an eBay mentor, you're amazing, Kathy. I am Brad, aka SurfsUpFinds. That's my eBay store, and you can find me on social media everywhere at SurfsUpFinds. Little history about me and eBay. I started selling on eBay in 2001. My dad did estate sales, and he wasn't savvy with the internet, and of course I was in 2001. And I thought, man, there's a little bit of money to be made here with this eBay thing, so I would be able to go into the estate sales and be the first one in there and get stuff. So I started my eBay journey selling in 2001 through high school, and then through college, it brought in some good extra money, and then I became a teacher for 13 years, and eBay was my official side hustle, because every teacher has a side hustle. And 3 years ago, I left teaching, and I am a full-time eBay seller. I did sell antiques and collectibles, so I have a little bit of history with a lot of different things. In 2016, I switched over to mostly clothing. I also want to let everyone know that I do all of my listing from my phone, my mobile device.
And I'm a desktop seller, so what you guys are in for is a super, super, super treat, because we have loaded, and eBay's great, they've allowed us to create this, so everything you see is us. So tons of tips for mobile, and then tons of tips for desktop. We're including both for you guys.
That's right.
And we did all the social?
All the social?
Okay, we're good. We have to make sure we're doing everything right. It's like, hey. So, yes. What you're going to be covering?
Yeah, so today we're going to be going over getting your items sold fast, right? Getting your listings sold quickly. So with that being said, we're going to be going over our item title, our pictures, our specifics, our descriptions, and of course, pricing your item right. And then at the end, of course, we love Q&A, so we're going to be adding that in.
And we've got some listing tools for you guys, and all the tools that we're going to recommend are tools that you can get for free, okay? So, and we're also going to be interactive, so get ready, you guys. So question number one, this is also for you online, because we got Blaine here and he's keeping an eye on the chat. Why are you listing? Make money. Oh, guys, you got it right away. To sell. Exactly. Sales. That's why we're listing. Huge, 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 important part of your listing, and to get sales, to attract buyers, is your title. And so I'm putting it out to you guys, why are titles so important? And the reason they're so important is three main reasons. So I got my fingers up, yeah. Three main reasons. One, your title is fed to eBay search. Every single word, every term in your title, which is why you want to pick them correctly and wisely, which we're going to help you with, is fed to search. You know, Jamie Iannone is not sitting there, okay, with various staff members like Shadi, VP of Seller Experience, going, oh, Brad's listing a shirt. Oh, Kathy's listing a dress. Oh, Nick just put up a cool electronic item, okay? Search has the algorithms. The words that you're using in your title are fed to search. You get 80 characters, they're important. It's also fed to Google. So your title is fed to eBay, And eBay then feeds your title to Google. And we love Google. We want to rank well on Google. Also, it informs your buyer. I don't know about you guys. I shop on eBay almost every day. You'll look at these listings and it's like, what are they selling? Like this title, it's like, it's so gobbledygook. I don't know what they're doing with their keywords. They do jam them in there because they think somehow, search is going to pull it out, so that's great. And what they forget is Jamie may not be sitting there looking at the listing and trying to figure out what you're selling. But Brad is, Kathy is, Janet is, Kathleen is, and they want to be able to look at your title and know immediately what you're selling. That it is very clear, it is a purse, it is a bag, it is a toy, it is a puzzle, it is a plush, it's a Ralph Lauren shirt, it's plaid, it's paisley, it's mid-century modern, it's Victorian, that I clearly, easily know what it is. You've got 80 characters. That includes spaces. And when you're writing titles, in case you've never noticed this, and sometimes like we're working so fast, when you start typing in your keywords, which is like brand, style, size, you'll see that you start getting lower and lower numbers. eBay's actually counting the characters for you. So pay attention to that because it can really help you. You can use word character counters if that's easier. You just copy and paste the title and you can plop it in. They're free. But eBay is actually counting it for you, so keep that in mind. But, and this is actually something not everybody's aware of, pull out your phones when you're home, look at the desktop, the laptop. If you're on main search, which is called the river, by the way, if you're using all 80 characters, which I encourage you to do because all of those terms are fed to eBay and Google, roughly the last 10 or 11 characters are cut off in the main searches. This is true on mobile, and this is true on desktop. Now, this doesn't mean it's not fed to search. It doesn't mean when they click on your listing, they don't see it. But what it means is if I'm searching the Michael Kors purse or the Ralph Lauren shirt, I'm only going to see the first 70, 71 characters. The reason you care about this is that your listing makes sense with those words that are shown. So don't have the first 3 or 4 characters, remember you only get 80, be NWT or be new. Because that's what your buyer is seeing. If you're really enamored of that, and I don't recommend it, you stick it at the end. Because what they're looking at, you want them to see the brand. You want them to see the style. You want them to see the color. Sometimes it's size, like with the toys and stuff, because they have a small, a medium, a large. It could be the manufacturer number. I'm thinking of Nick with the electronics, because those people really know exactly what part number or something like that they're looking for. Sometimes like with a nail polish, or with the makeup, it has a specific number or a number for that color, and you might want to put that in. But remember, lead with the most important terms. If you really want certain things, which we don't recommend, throw it at the end because it is chopped off. Now, but if your title's only 60 characters or 65, it's not. Because sometimes people will say to me, they're like, well, I see everything. It's because you're not using all 80 characters. But you do want to use them because they are all fed to search, okay? Pictures.
All right, pictures. Audience, people at home watching virtually, what do you think the most important picture is? I have selective listening, so I'm going to say your thumbnail, your cover photo. To me, your cover photo is the most important picture. You want a photo that is going to grab the buyer's attention. Listen, more and more people are buying off of eBay on their mobile devices than ever before. In fact, eBay told me that 2/3 of gross merchandise sales are coming from mobile devices. So those little itty-bitty pictures, your thumbnails, have to paint the picture of your listing. So for me, with the clothing reselling world, on the bottom, you can see I have a photo of one of my pictures where I want my photo, my thumbnail, to be able to tell the whole description, be able to tell as much as the item specifics as possible. So that photo right there, it shows you the colors, it shows you the pattern, it shows you the brand, the logo, the size, the fit, everything fit into that one little thumbnail. So You look at the top, I don't know much about that photo. No offense if that's anyone's photo in here, but straight off of eBay. So yes, pictures that sell, especially that main photo, I always talk about that. Now, of course, your other pictures matter, and whatever you sell, like when I sold collectibles and antiques, you have to make sure you take photos of every single angle, any little flaw, any mark, all that sort of thing. With clothing, you don't have to put in 25 photos for a shirt like this. To be honest, and we'll talk about this later, I am a fast mobile lister. I do everything on the go. So I'm looking at, my 7 photos, my cover photo being the most important, and then, my measurements and all those sorts of photos right after that. I also want to talk about lighting. So in 2016, I started selling clothing. And up until last year, I took all my photos on my floor, in my kitchen on my hardwood floor, with just lights like this. I didn't have any photo light box, I didn't have any special lighting, I didn't have anything but my phone and my kitchen floor. It was clean. And so I didn't have anything, I had no money invested into my lighting. I made plenty of sales, I just made sure I had photos like that and, cute little artistic view of it. But yeah, with lighting, you just want to make sure it's consistent. Your lighting is consistent. For example, in my kitchen, I would have the lights on, but if I opened a curtain, it would throw all the lighting off. So make sure your lighting is consistent throughout your photos. You could do lighting like I did in the kitchen. We talked about natural lighting outside, especially with some of the new AI tools where the background doesn't really matter as much because you can cut that out. Or you can have, like now I have a nice photography station. Taking photos is a lot more fun. But yeah, lighting in your pictures are so important. And then listing fast. So when I was a teacher, I would take my photos at home, at night, kids in bed, whatever, and I would list my items during prep or if between classes or during my break or whatever. So I'm always listing on the go. I take all my photos, including my measurement photos. I don't put my measurements in my description. This is just what I do, but different perspectives. For me, I'm quick. I'm on the go. I'm a speed lister. I take my photos in 30 seconds. My item there, take my measurements in my photos, everything on my photos, and then my description I have on my phone. Everything's on my phone, and I do it all from my phone. So that way, now that I'm full-time in a thrift store, if I'm thrifting in line, I can list a couple items while I'm waiting. Or if I'm in the car waiting for the thrift store to open, I can list a few items. So I'm listing stuff very, very fast, very quickly. Also, sell similar. It's huge. I know a lot of us sell the same items over and over again, right? So that's great. Use those, especially new resellers out there. Make sure you use sell similar. Don't reinvent the wheel. Get those listings done quickly. So for me, I'm listing the same shirts over and over again. I'm going to sell similar for my same shirt. Or if it's a new shirt to me, I'm going to go to sold comps, see some items that sold for a good price and had a good little title and everything, sell like them, sell similar, and use a lot of their information, plug in my own, boom, done, list it. Done like that.
Good for you.
So yeah,
good.
Quick listing.
I just want to say quickly for the desktop people, because I list primarily on desktop, is that when you upload pictures, it's much faster on the mobile than it is through desktop for the most part. So great thing to be, because our phones have gotten better and better and better. I'm going to date myself. If you guys remember years ago, we did the camera setups and we had the disc, and then you have to take the disc out of your camera, and remember this? And then you're plugging it into your computer, or you're taking your phone and then you're whatever. And also the eBay app, yay eBay app people, is so much better. I mean, eBay has improved it like it's extraordinary. Is you take your pictures with your phone and upload it and start a draft listing, or sell similar, and you know this, it'll pull all the pictures out. If it is your listing, it'll say, do you want to keep the pictures? No, because it's a new listing. And then upload the pictures, because it's super, super, super fast. It's like 4 or 5 seconds, you've got 10, 15, whatever pictures. Save as draft, then go to your desktop, for those of us that like big monitors, and then I complete it from there. So if you haven't tried uploading your pictures through mobile and then completing it on desktop, check it out, because you really will save substantial amounts of time. And we both want to talk about
video. I'll throw that to you. I want to add one more thing.
Yeah, go for it.
With doing it on my device too, with eBay app being so easy now, especially easier than it used to be, taking photos, I can take photos of a shirt in probably 30 to 40 seconds.
Yep.
And then I can list it on my phone so similar in less than a minute. So if I do my batch photos and batch listings, I can list an item in less than 2 minutes, just doing it from my mobile device, which with all this new AI talk, trying some of it out with different things, I'm like, I'm gonna see if that's faster than what I can do.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you can do it really, really fast.
Both of us are always willing to change. We're always
Yes.
trying new things. We're always looking for how can I create a listing quickly and effectively. I want to create a quick listing that's also going to get indexed well by eBay search, Google search, and that the buyer clearly knows what they're getting. But we did want to jump in and let you guys know about video because there are changes coming. Right now, it is only available on desktop, as you guys probably know, and it needs to be 60 seconds or shorter. These are great for things that make noise. These are things that have lights. Or for your more high-end items, I'm thinking the antique collectibles, where you're going to want to do a spin and show the 360. Perhaps you want to show it opening and closing, whatever. I always think of like Vanna White. You sort of like want to, show off the item. The video can be really, really helpful for that. But it's only been on desktop, which for mobile folks has sort of stopped you. And because for a lot of us, we do create our videos with our phones. Is some of you already have this ability? I don't. Where you now are able to do your video for your listing, upload it through the app. And what we've been told by the team is it is rolling out to everybody, so keep an eye out because everybody will soon have this ability. Now, things to keep in mind with adding video to listings. One, it increases customer engagement because they go, oh, look, it moves, it makes lights, it does this, it does that. But it takes time. It takes time to create the video. It will take you time to upload the video. So for an item, pretty much, if it's like $14.99 free shipping, $15.99, it may not be worth the extra time and effort unless it's something like a multi-quantity listing where I've got 100 of these. It could be then, even though it's a low ticket item, it could be worth it to put a video in. But for higher ticket items, for antique, for collectibles, I saw some unique New York things. It might be fun to do a spin and show all the sites that is on this mug or ashtray or whatever. So keep that in mind, is the price point of the item. And also, is this something that's going to show off well in video? And the other thing to think about if you're trying to stand out in search and you have a lot of competition is having that video can help you stand out in search. It just gives you that little extra interest from your buyers.
Well, for sure, back in my antiques and figurines collectible days, I'm selling higher end items and I'm just putting myself in the shoes of a buyer, having that video, being able to watch the video. I don't even know if I'd have to look at any of the pictures.
Right.
So that would be just great to be able to get, the stamps and anything on that piece. So
go in on a close-up on it, show the detailing.
Like you said, doing it on clothing, maybe not, but doing it on a higher end item, I definitely think is worth it, especially something that is electronic. Want to make sure it's working.
Something like a music box, I was thinking that, things that make noise, and again, because you're going to have other people and they're not doing the video, but you are doing the video and you get to hear that wonderful music or you're seeing how it opens. The toys, antique toys for people that do that. The other thing for certain electronics is with the video, you can show that it works. You can show it powering on. And so that can be a big help. So keep an eye out for that. Try it out as you get it. Item specifics.
All right, so I don't know, eBay might be mad at me about this, but.
Go for it, Brad.
Okay. I, again, am a speed lister. So when it comes to description and item specifics, I'm just going to tell you like it is, and this is me. So also similar, and I'm really just focused on the item specifics that are required. I will do a couple others, for example, like if it's got stripes, the pattern, things like that. And also, I've taken a photo of it, but also the material content or whatever. But I'm not doing all the little item specifics. On social media, a lot of people ask me, and I teach there. I'm always a teacher. And they ask me, should I do all these little item specifics? It depends on what you're selling, but for me, I don't. I really just focus on the required ones. Again, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, get it listed quick.
So, of course, I'm going to have a different perspective, but this is the thing we really love, and we're grateful to eBay to team us up because we're both very successful sellers and we list differently. So we're being very honest with you about how we go about this. I like item specifics. The reason I like item specifics is they are fed to search. They are search terms. If it's in there, even if it seems really weird and like eBay, why on earth is this in here? It is a search term searched by the buyer, and that's why it's there. If you look at whatever your category is, look at the filters across the top, look at the filters in the left navigation bar. This is on desktop. If you're on mobile, the filters will be there too. Okay, just look. Things like color, again, the ones that are required, color, brand, it'll be sometimes the material, the country of manufacture, if you know. But the other ones is look at the drop downs. I'm thinking of things like in clothing, it will say features. Buttons may be in there, right? And somebody's looking for that it's a button up. Pockets might be in there. And interestingly enough, there's people, they love shirts, so they love shirts with no pockets. They don't want a pocket. And then somebody else, my husband is a pocket guy. He loves shirts with pockets. Yes, it's in the picture. Yes, I can look at the picture, but it may not be totally clear because sometimes really the pattern blends, and there it is in the item specifics. So if somebody's searching men's shirt with pocket or whatever, I absolutely know that eBay's going to pick it up because I've put it in the item specifics. And also things like for clothing, party, Christmas, holiday, okay? The drop downs, sometimes the first couple of terms seem like who cares? It has period like 20s and 30s. But if you look at everything that's in there, it's interesting. Also color. This is me, if it's predominantly a certain color, I'm looking, Anita, with the purple. Now it's purple and it's got some pink, but it's predominantly purple. For me, I'll go with the purple. If it's more of a plaid and it really is a lot of multicolor, then it'll go multicolored. So that's the way I do colors, because there's people, they really want pink. They really want purple, and it's hard with the multicolor because it doesn't really call out the specific different colors. So take a look. Also, for people where your listings have been up forever and you're like, why isn't this selling? Like this should have sold and come on eBay, like get me my buyer. Your item specifics can really help. So you are a speed lister and you put it up and you did the required and you're like, I'm moving on because I'm trying to get 800 listings up, is go back and look. Because there might be something in those item specifics that you chose not to use because you're trying to get all your listings up that really can help you and give you an extra filter, which gets you to reach more buyers. And remember, all of that stuff is fed to Google, so it can help me to get more traffic to my items. Again, for things that have been sitting there and sitting there and sitting there, you're like, hello, please get moving, okay? So that really will help you for your stale. And you wanted to do some stale listing tips too.
Well, yeah, since I talked about photos and lighting, I gave you guys all my information about my eBay store, so don't judge me. You can go back and look at some of my old photos. But this summer, I took a lot of my old photos and redid that cover photo, that thumbnail.
Oh, that's great.
With my new lighting, and those items sold. So that's another thing to be looking at.
If it's old, to go back and go, maybe this needs a new picture. Or again, I did it when I was doing pictures a different style.
Needs a facelift.
Yeah.
That's what
which is good. And the other thing, and I think we're going to get to it. If we don't, okay, we're going to do descriptions. Quickly on the photos. On the app, so background removal tool is on desktop and mobile, but if you're not familiar with this, the background removal tool on the app, and it is rolling out to desktop one of these days, is it has ocean. Have you guys seen this? Has anybody used these? Ocean, grass, lake, right? Let me tell you, if it's Hawaiian shirts, the ocean thing rocks. It's really, really good. And if you look at Hawaiian shirts, like pretty much everybody's doing like flat lay one way or another. Sometimes they do mannequins. So if yours has the ocean and everybody else is mannequin with a white background or flat lay with a white background, say that one fast. Something like having the ocean background can help you pop. And again, okay, eBay search doesn't really care about it because I've asked. I said, do I get like a boost in search from using like the AI backgrounds? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. But buyers like it. Why? Because you stand out. So it's got the mountainside in the background and you're selling like a ski parka. Again, it's another way to stand out in search that grabs your buyer's attention because that's what you're after. Descriptions.
All right, again, probably differ a little bit. Well, with my bread and butter items, I just do a blanket description. And now I know with AI, you can hit like create a description and it's like better than anything I could ever write. But I like a blanket description because I can put things like, with clothing, pet-free home, no mildew smells, no smells, and then also like items may appear different than, using your device. It may appear different on your device. So people will be like, oh, I thought it was baby blue. Well, no, it's actually royal blue, that sort of thing. So I just do a blanket description. But sometimes with eBay, also going back to item specifics, I wanted to mention that like the eBay wizards, you'll put in your title, and then a lot of your specifics will be filled out.
It'll start pre-filling stuff. Have
like
you guys
slim
noticed
fit.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's great. So it's starting to fill. So I'm getting a little bit better at that. But yeah, I do blank descriptions for all of my items. I never had, to be honest, I don't know how many people actually read the description.
What do you sell?
Clothing.
Okay.
But.
Men's clothing or women's?
Men's clothing. Okay, yes.
All right, I'm going to say it.
But.
Men don't return. Am I right? Men don't return.
And I'm happy about that too. 2% return rate.
So, good.
No, but I do want to mention, this just pertains to clothing. I have sold antiques collectibles, and of course you want to put a lot of things like the provenance and all those things in the description. When it's more expensive, you need to go into more detail and stuff about it, especially when it starts to get higher, so that they know that you know what you're selling. Yeah, so I don't just want to say it's a blanket description for everything I sell.
Depends on your price point, depends on what you're selling. I, of course, have a different viewpoint. So what I do is, and you guys do this, and you can do it while you're here, go on the major retailer sites, okay? And I'm not going to mention names because I might get in trouble. But whatever you sell, if it's outdoor goods, women's clothing, kids' toys, there's a retailer out there that sells it. They have huge budgets with these huge departments. They spend tons of money researching that I don't have, that Brad doesn't have. And look at how they do their listings. It tends to be like 1 or 2 sentences briefly describing it. Lovely shirt, buttons, collar.
No pocket.
Made in USA, no pocket, or Bangladesh machine wash. Lovely to go outdoors to barbecues. And then it will have bullets. And the bullets will be your item specifics. It will be the brand, the color, the whatever. And you go, okay, Kathy, please, enough already. It's in the title, which is being fed to all the searches. It's in item specifics, which, by the way, we didn't mention. Your item specifics is also fed, eBay search, Google search. Why am I putting it in the description too? Because you know what? People need to see it and see it and see it. And some people are title people, some people are item specific people, some people are description people. The other thing I do is once you have it down is sell similar, and then you're just able to change a few things. And the other thing, if you guys don't do this, consider it, is like using something like Google Docs. So if I sell a lot of women's dresses, I have my template more or less in my Google Docs. Men's suits, plush toys, whatever it is, and then when I get it, copy and paste, plop it in, I'm done. Pricing, this is our favorite.
Pricing, I would like to say for all new resellers out there how important this is, but it's also important to a lot of veteran resellers.
Absolutely.
Because one of the things, what is your item actually selling for? Again, a lot of you guys I know this, but there are always new people watching. What is your item selling for? So go not just to completed, to sold listings. Find something that looks similar to yours. That's how much it's worth. Also, items change. So what might be in style a year ago going for $60, yours hasn't sold yet. Well, guess what? You might go back and look at that. It's selling for $40.
Or you've got competition that's coming and they're going underneath you. So we're going to check the solds. And how else do we check pricing?
Well, there's the seller tool, and they have it on the app, which is great, especially if you're doing something like collectibles and antiques.
Product research.
Product research. Because if there's, or a rare Ralph Lauren item that I might be selling, they will have the product research where I can go back 3 years and find that item. Because in the last 3 months, that item doesn't exist. So I don't know where to price it from. Go back the last 3 years, at least it gives me a better idea. So if you're looking for, if it's not in those last 90 days, you can go to the product research tab on your mobile device, everything from my mobile. And
desktop.
And you can figure out, have a better idea of what
And you can also look, and I believe you can do it on mobile too, because I was checking, look at the sales trend. Also because we are now August going into fourth quarter, is there are certain things where, you might get $40, $50 nice, and you know what, if you've got the margin, you're like, go for it, let me just sell it for 40 or 50. But using product research sales trends, and product research is a free tool from eBay. You don't need a store, because when it rolled out a while ago, you did have to have a store, that is no longer true, is it might really go up like in October, November. So maybe, I might price it a little bit higher because I'm going for that sales trend. So again, what's my goal? Faster sale, slower soul. Take a look at the trends and take advantage of product research, which we love. I talked about the background removal tool. Take a look at it. It's great. The AI tools with the backgrounds is fun, and they keep rolling out different ones, so keep an eye on that. Now, this is a tool that's more intermediate advanced, but I did want to talk about it, and Brad just started using it too. Listing Quality Report. This is only available to some sellers now. Honestly, I don't know the criteria. It will be ramping up to everyone, so keep an eye out for it. It is gold. The way you find it is on Seller Hub, and this is one you have to be on desktop for, is look under Performance, the tabs across the top, and then Traffic. When you get there, it's in really small writing, right? Upper right-hand corner, you got to really look for this thing, and you download it. It's a file. But what? Do you love it?
I just tried it last night for the first time. And
because I saw his video, he's got a video up.
If you want to see how to do it, just go to my Instagram story and you'll see how I did it. And I found out I was ranked pretty good in dress shirts.
You find out how you're ranked against your competitor. This is gold, you guys, because you may be a smaller seller or you go, wow, but you're up there, which lets you know in that category, you are a rock star.
And one more thing to add, eBay also tells you it suggests some things you can do to make you a better seller.
Which is, for instance, like with pictures. If you, for instance, have 4 pictures, it will show you that all your competitors are using 7 or 8. Maybe I should put a few more pictures in. Same thing with your item specifics. Now, also the reverse. You might be Kathy and you've got like 1 million item specifics, so it's showing that I'm using 12 or 14. All my competitors are only doing 5. Maybe I don't have to be so zealous on the item specifics if I'm working on speed listing and getting more things up. When it becomes available to you, it is a little work to go through. It's not the kind of thing you just look at it and in 3 seconds you have answers, but it is gold. Especially my more advanced sellers, if you have stuff that's been sitting there for, again, forever, and it's not moving, take a look at Listing Quality Report, because it might have some really, really good answers for you. Did we do it?
My favorite part. Oh yeah. Key takeaways, of
Absolutely,
course.
Go for it, Brad.
We're going to do your titles, of course, and then your pictures, what your goals are. We just talked about our favorite tools.
Yep.
And then you like to say this last one.
Absolutely. Remember, because you can get crazy with impressions and everything, it takes 1 click. It takes 1 buyer. It takes 1 customer to find your item. That's why your title is so important. Excellent pictures, because I'm looking for that perfect buyer, and they go, I want that shirt. Boom, you got a sale. But then you create the listing so they can discover you.